I was a 20-year veteran of architectural and civil design. I had owned my own companies, looked for a job after that, got another job with an engineer doing civil design. Got to the point where I absolutely hated it. When the housing market fell, my job with the engineer kind of dried up because he had no work, so couldn't pay me. Ever since I was a little kid, going out to my mom's school, I'd be playing on the computers they had out there at the college. So this was back when the 8086, days. Back when dual 5 1/4 inch floppies were standard. And I've just always had a love for computers since then. So it just seemed like the logical step to go. I had been out of work for about 2 years. It started in around 2008, I think is when it was. Decided to come back to here about a year ago. Kept going through classes, kept working on certifications, obtained several certifications, and then finally found a job working for Bratcher Robotics. The big product that they have is called the Maverick, which is an unmanned UAV. It's pretty neat stuff, actually. With Prioria, what I do for them, though, is I handle all their IT infrastructure for them. I'm the systems administrator for the entire network. One of the things was I did want instructor-led. I enjoy having the instructor up there in the class, so you can ask questions, you can hear other people ask questions. That was one thing that I really liked about coming here. I know I'd looked at a few online courses, where it was mostly just like recorded video, and then if you wanted to talk to an instructor, you would email them and then wait for them to get back. And then I also looked into like some of the community colleges around here, for the same type stuff, and they had more of a traditional program, with like an AA degree or something like that. They still offered the certifications. You had a lot of other things that you had to go through in order to be able to get what you really wanted. So when I came here and looked, this was a focused study. It was exactly what I was looking for. When it came to getting the classes that I wanted and getting the certifications that I needed to find work. I went through the classes, and I even retook a couple. Just when it came time to actually sit for the certification, I kind of sat through the class again, to make sure I had all my ducks in a row and could get answers to my final questions that I had before I could sat for the actual exam. So the instructor-led classes were great. Because one, the instructors, they knew what they were talking about. They'd been teaching for years, doing this. And they had a passion for it as well. So when you would ask a question, there would be excitement about the answer, instead of just the standardized, well, this is what the book says. They were able to give real world experience, and well, this is how we did this over here, or I ran into this over there, so it was a good experience, with the classroom environment. After I had sat for the class, and as I was going through and studying the material that was needed to take the exam, I used the mentored learning, as to kind of fill in a lot of gaps as well. There's only so much that the book will tell you, and even the instructors will tell you that all the information in the book is not necessarily everything that's on the exam. They give you a lot of other little references throughout the books, the school books, that say, if you want to find out more, look here. Well, and some of the stuff, they had questions about that because I assumed that they wanted to test to see how resourceful you were. If there was a question that came up as to whether or not you'd be able to go and find the answer for it. And I think that's the way a lot of the books here were set up as well. It not only would teach you the information, but it would teach you how to find the information as well. So, but through the mentored learning, it was a semi-instructor-led class because, it was like a recorded video, like I said, but it still reinforced everything that was taught in class, and then also through the mentored learning, they had separate labs that you were able to go through and actually do like practice setups, with virtual machines in these lab scenarios that they had set up through the mentored learning. A lot of it has to do with the instructors. They're always receptive for questions. They will take the time out of their schedules to help you. Ted was actually really great. He helped me everything from just getting my resume to where it looked like a professional resume for an IT person, to helping me find places to actually submit the resume. You know, there would be people who would contact him, you know, to ask him, say, hey, do you have anybody who you would think would fit this position well? You know, and then he would come to the people he thought would fit well and say, hey, you need to submit a resume to this place or to this place. You know, so, I mean, throughout the whole process, I mean, he was right there with me. I mean, any questions that I had, I mean, about the interview processes, like what to say, what to wear, I mean, he was right there to help. Back to New Horizons, I mean, I would recommend him, the school here, to anybody. You know, I can't really say anything about any of the other New Horizons because, I mean, I would assume that they're the same way. But, I mean, the people here in Gainesville, I mean, they're great. I mean, everybody from the people up at the front desk all the way to even the owner of the company here. I mean, they've all been great. I mean, it's you go to the bigger schools, you know, like the community college, you know, stuff like that. I doubt the president of the school is ever going to come up and say, hey, how's your day been? You know, but the owner here has done that many times. You know, and I see him doing it to lots of people. You know, and not just faculty, you know, and staff, you know, but students. I mean, he's right there with us as well. You know, so I mean, it's just a good feeling to know that you're more than just a number. I'd tell him exactly the same thing that I did. I mean, follow your dreams and do what you want to do. I mean, if that means going back to school, then do it. I mean, just do what you love. I mean, I thought I was doing it, but I found out that I wasn't. You know, so I came back here to New Horizons and did something else that I loved, and I'm going to continue down this path for as long as I possibly can.